Yo, yo, yo. This is another one from Hip Hop Classic Reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe. And for more dope reviews, comment in the comment section. Today we're going to be reviewing Tupac's third album, Me Against the World. Are you ready? So, the intro is a collection of news reports on top of a track that fades in like a soundtrack to a movie. It was produced by Tony Pizarro, and it just highlights the controversy that surrounded Tupac leading up to this album and all the things that was going on in his life. The next track in the album is If I Die Tonight. The intro is by Mopreme Shakur, Tupac's brother, and Dr. Dre. It's a sample by Dr. Dre. And it states, a coward dies 1,000 deaths, a soldier dies but one. Tonight's the night of getting some S-H-I-T. That's the Dr. Dre part. And then the first verses, they say pussy and paper is poetry, which is an alliteration of P's, and this is riding over a percussive breakbeat like a low rider riding through a hail of bass at a block party coming from all directions. This has Tupac's echo of lyricism effortlessly riding over Easy Mo B's production like butter sizzling on a skillet. This lets the listener onto something deaf, imaginative, paranoid but nonchalant in its approach to his mindset when he's spitting verbal venom on this track. The percussive P's, which are peppered throughout the track, highlight Shakur's poetic poetry, lacing the track with a performance of iambic meter, coupled with alliterations and stresses of ebonic brilliance. Now, I've listened to this track a number of times, and it always elicits a profound sense of Tupac's mindset and how he felt after being shot 5 times, but coming to terms with his mortality, considering this song was before the incident, which in itself is a self-fulfilling prophecy. So the next line from the album is pistol whipping these simps for being petrified and lame, disrespecting the game, praying for punishment and pain. This shows Tupac's growth as a man and an artist from his debut in his sophomore album. The use of alliterations of P's is important because it's used in the first and second and third verses respectively, and the lines in the first verse is used again in the third verse like a chorus. The use is frenetic, you may not actually catch it. The overall track from production and lyrics sample, which is Dr. Dre's Tonight's the Night, from his 1992 track Deep Cover on the hook, is absolutely brilliant, fading out with the ominous paranoid kill, 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 murder, murder, murder by Shakur echoing outro hook is excellent. So the next track is Me Against the World. Tupac starts with a hook that's like a mantra chanting a siege mentality. It's me against the world. A lot of people can relate to that, coupled with a break beat that has a soft percussion with a haunting sample of Isaac Hayes' Walk On By with Puff Johnson's breezy vocals of the title. With Tupac rapping the hook is a great introduction to the song. The track has a climatic build up to the hook with a crescendo of angst in the lyrics of the verse that is released when the hook is sung, almost like a climax releasing of stress. The track introduces 2 members of the Outlaws, Yaki Gaddafi and Idi Amin. They both hold their own, but Idi I's rapid fire, every day there's more death and plus some dough less, and my nuts is back up, I'm about to act up, go load the Mac up, now watch me clack up. Have you following his rapid fire delivery, which is polished. The track, production, lyrics, vocals, samples have the listener craving for more. So the next track on the track listing is So Many Tears. It starts off with a plea to God, which is Psalms 23.4, coupled with the prayer, if I should die before I wake. Now there's a harmonica sound that has a sad blues undertone. The retrospective track has Pac dealing with death and paranoid thoughts, coupled with sadnesses of death death of past friends and innocence. He's dealing with the decisions that may lead to his incarceration, the stress of the media and the public. This track deals with PTSD, suicide and embracing of death if it comes, but the need for redemption and forgiveness by God to forgive past transgressions. Now, this may have been caused by trauma of almost being killed and unjust incarceration that this album is a product of. The track is eerie and has a feeling of a church choir with an organ playing to a funk band with a sad blues feeling caused by the Stevie Wonder That's Girl sample harmonica in the hook, echoing I've lost so many peers, shed so many tears vocal. The next track on the track list is Temptations, which is another single off the album, and there's a sample of Eric Sermon's vocals from the line on Redman's track Watching Nuggets from the What The album, where Eric is saying, "Hey, Eric Sermon." The hey part becomes part of the hook in a haunting melodic echo that is repeated and overlapped Easy Mo B's vocals. We have to give Easy Mo B his dues. Excellent producer, the track, lyrics, vocals, exceptional. Also radio friendly, even though the track has a strong hip hop presence because of the lyrics and subject matter has the listener going on a ride with Pac and his playeristic wordplay. The strong emotion and timbre of his vocals that send a poignant message. The given the finger ad-lib hook coupled with Moby's vocals and the Eric Sermon sample with the bluesy feel of the synthesizer make for an interesting track. Young Ninja is the next track on the track list. He's the kind of G like everybody knows as a young ninja. He's always G'd up from head to toe. My memories of a young ninja. Always got it blown like Al Capone. Strong ninja. He's the downest G I've ever known. My memories of a young ninja. The interesting back and forth of the hook leads to a catchy tune that has a deep funk influence with the sample of Cameo's Strange. The lyrics explore an adolescent's growth, trying to become their dreams, even though the American dream isn't something readily available in their environment. It's a retrospective track that shows the innocence of youth, but the reality of growing up and all the aspirations and ambitions that get thrown out of the window as a young adolescent. When in reality they are just kids, even though they're trying to become men and gain all the accoutrements of men. The production, lyrics, verses, hook take the listener on an exploratory journey through Pac's mind and his ideology for positive influence on young black males. Because in America, they're not categorized as that, especially if they commit a crime. Brackets the 13th Amendment. The track sends a positive message through a lived experience. Production is by Lee Morris, Taylor and Mo ZMD. Vocals G Money, Pac, additional vocals, sample, Cameo She's Strange. Next track is Heavy in the Game, and this features a dancehall artist called Lady Lever, and she introduces a track with her Jamaican patois edict of how she drops game. The Game's Been Good to Me, which is a reinterpretation of SOS's band's 1983 Just Be Good to Me. Pac's lyrical content is a retrospective narrative of game, hustling and coming up in the game. The hook has a sample that is sung by Edmund Foster and lived into Lady Levi's Jamaican patois vocals that actually shape the subject matter of the track and keep Tupac on his toes. The Jamaican influence and the ad-lib vocals of Foster make for an interesting hook that shouldn't work but actually makes the track interesting and lead credence to Pac's lyrical content through his tone and delivery. Featured on the track is Richie Rich. His flow is laid back, clear and concise. The chemistry on the track is undeniable, as would later be seen on future tracks with Shakur. Standout lines include certain ninjas wanted to stick the game, you're a trick to the game, waiting upon your turn son, when will you learn? Snoop Dogg cited Richie Rich as an influence to his laid back flow, and the influence can be seen. Rich schools the listener to the game and lays credence to Tupac's flow and messages. Producer Mike Mosley, vocals Lady Levi, Ebony Foster, Richie Rich and Tupac. Next track in the track listing is Lord Knows. It starts off with Tupac talking and coughing, then the track kicks in with vocals with Tupac's raspy Lord Knows. The opening verse starts off with a high octane with the opening line. I smoke a blunt to take the pain out, and if I wasn't high I'd probably try to blow my brains out. I'm hopeless, they should have killed me as a baby, now I'm trapped in the storm. forgive me. The emphasis on hopelessness and forgive me in the rawness of the lyrics is excellent for the use of stress in poetry, also raw emotion. The opening verse carries on to explore depression, self-medication, self-deletion, then goes on to look at the dog-eat-dog mentality of the inner city youth. The theme of redemption rears its ugly head. Tupac is deep in belief, drawing on strength to guide him, self-medicating and contemplating self-deletion. This is a thing that is never discussed in the hip-hop community, mental health. A lot of artists actually talk about it a lot, and through past experiences and present experiences share their insight with their respective audience to whom it may sound cool. Check for Pharoah Monch's PTSD album, which I will review at a future date. Lines from the third verse. Homie died in my arms with his brains hanging effed up. Had to tell him that it was alright, and that's a lie, and you knew it when you shook and died. My God. This line has great stresses, but the emphasis on my God, like when you're shocked by something in speech, is brilliant. Also, the line covers things that soldiers would go through in combat, where they would give their comrades hope to stay alive, so at least the last moments weren't filled with angst and misery on top of the pain. Another line from the second verse. My memories bring me misery, and life is hard in the ghetto, it's insanity. I can't breathe, thinking what the hell got, couldn't suffer so much, I feel shell-shocked. Tupac's raw self-analysis about his experience in America stemmed from a lot of pain and angst in this track. The self-realization of death explored in this track is a dramatic way, with Lord Knows vocals sung with Tupac echoing in a harrowing, tired voice, almost a quiet plea. The hook is intoxicating like the substances he's on. The lyrics and production are a great mix of hip-hop, creating a masterpiece. Vocals Tupac, production Brian G, additional vocals Natasha Walker, Kim Armstrong, Kenyatta Foreman, Killer, rapper. The next track in the track list is Dear Mama, a soulful blues track that creates a vivid tale of emotion, bitterness and love as Tupac performs a beautiful opus that could be a soundtrack to his life story. The opening verse starts off with opposition between him and his mother. Lines with, when I was young, me and my mama had beef, 17 years old, kicked out on the street. The opening verse is important because it shows at a certain point in adolescence a boy is going to become a man. So boys or teens will need a male role model. The fact that he admits this on the track is brilliant, and you can see the openness in the bitterness. The next line goes on to address no regrets because of his actions of trying to find his way. Suspended from school and scared to go home, I was a fool with the big boys breaking all the rules. Now, isn't that what being a man is? Breaking rules, rebelling, trying to find your way as a man, even though you're scared your mother might find out. This track is one of my favourites, and it's a standout track because it embodies a lot of depth, soul searching, honesty and raw emotion between a mother and son, and how the bond is. Tupac's contradictory view of his mother is amazing because we get the honest viewpoint of both sides of his perspective in regards to how he feels about his mother. Lines like, even as the crack fiend, mama, you was always a black queen, mama, illustrate this. This is definitely one of my favourite tracks on the album and would always get put on repeat along with Lord Knows and So Many Tears. Production, vocal, lyrics, subject matter, definitely a 10 out of 10. Another single off the album, it was certified platinum by RIAA in July the 13th, 1995. Vocals by Tupac, additional vocals Reggie Green, Sweet Franklin, produced by Tony Pizarro, bass and guitar by Robert Funkster Baker. The next track on the track list is It Ain't Easy. Nothing in life is easy, so this is an apt description for a track. The track has a self-fulfilling prophecy and follows the Oscar Wilde quote, life imitates art and art imitates life. Tupac deep dives into this track that is a miasma of substances, relationships, flirting and trying to skirt the thin line between the penitentiary and the outside world. The lines are blurred that much to track as you jump in between both worlds. In the first verse, Pac is free, but hearing from his friends incarcerated has him sentimentals. Lines like, phone calls from ninjas on the other side, 2 childhood friends just died, I couldn't cry. And then other lines such as, so we cold rag top, slowing down, time to stop for gas, beat my horn for a hoochie with a proper ass, it ain't easy. Along with the bluesy funk of the track as the listener sitting in the backseat of Pac's ride being a fly on the wall, and it's excellent because it brings an integrity to the track that is refreshing but addictive. The production is absolutely hypnotic. The hook is Pac at his best and is catchy and simple, but so believable. It ain't easy being me. Will I see the penitentiary or will I stay free? It ain't easy being me. Will I see the penitentiary or will I stay free? Now I relate to this track on so many levels that it's amazing how current and fresh the track feels even today. The overall feel on the track on this track is different to Pac's other previous albums. The guitar chords with the whining synthesizer chord together is brilliant production. Pac's vocal and subject matter is superb because it highlights his problems with the law, incarceration and skirting the thin line between freedom and prison. The vivid imagery paints a perfect picture, to quote Pac himself. A definite listen, 10 out of 10. Vocals by Tupac Shakur, production Tony Pizarro. Next track in the album is Can I Get Away, the love song of the album, allegedly the ode to the late Lisa Left Eye Lopez, who dated Tupac before they split. Allegedly they had a telephone romance while she was in an off and on relationship with NFL receiver Andre Rison. She infamously burned his mansion down. The track starts off with Tupac talking to his love interest, hence the title. Lines in the verse like, maybe we can see a better way, find a brighter day, late night phone conversations, would that be okay? Next line's like, and now the picture gets clearer, all he does is hit you, I tell you to leave him, and you tell me keep your faith in God. The lines explore her telephone relationship with Pac and her alleged relationship with her current partner. They both share their faith in God, as this is a current theme throughout the whole album. Tupac's raw emotion are on display as he tries to tempt away his respective love interest in an emotional narrative that goes back and forth, explaining the whole telephone relationship. The hook is amazing and it was originally created and sung by Edmund Foster because the name is still mentioned in the lyrics, but the vocals are credited to Año Pinto, but maybe it's a mistake because it does sound like Foster's on the vocals. Anyway, vocals by Tupac, production Mike Mosley, samples Happy Feelings. Maze featuring Frank Beverly also has an interpolate of Pressure by Queen Niger and 20 Long. The next track on the album list is Old School, and it's an excellent tribute to Tupac's favourite artists that have influenced him, and also a trip down memory lane in NY Bronx, in New York and Bronx, Staten Island growing up, and the soundtrack to that period of his life. The hook is an interesting, catchy hook, and I didn't know it was Grand Puba with the iconic "What more could I say? I wouldn't be here today if the old school didn't pave the way." This is repeated 5 times with Tupac echoing "Ain't nothing like the old school." The first verse is a veritable who's who of the classic old school era, with lines like "I remember Mr. Magic Flash and Grandmaster Cass, LL raising hell but it didn't last. Eric B was the shit to me. I flipped to see Dougie Fresh Show with Ricky D." Reminiscing about music and past events. Music has a nostalgic feeling that can help recall past events, times and people. The track is a feel-good trip down the past of youth, happiness, experience and tutelage. The lyrics and production is exquisite. The track has the feel of an old school track, so the effort that Tupac was trying to elicit is a very apt homage to the old school, with an old school track with an old school artist on the hook and a nod to the old school. Amazing. Next track on the album list is F the World. Now this is a profane-laced track with an up-tempo Shock G production of funk electric synthesizer beats, which is dramatic and in your face with the lyrics and hook. Shock G blesses the vocals with the hook while Pac screams F the World. All of the ongoing drama of shooting off the Atlanta off-duty cops whom he shot, the ongoing court cases has in questioning people who are labelling him as a rapist, with the line "who you calling rapist." The lyrics are charged with his righteous indignation of the charges against him, but also addresses his lifestyle. The next track on the album listing is Death Around the Corner. The intro has themes of the famous Malcolm X picture, By Any Means Necessary, where he's at the window with an AK. This ideology was taken from the famous psychiatrist Caribbean psychiatrist Frantz Fanon, whose famous phrase, "Violence in everyday behaviour, violence against the past that is emptied by all substance, violence against the future." The quote goes on more, but I'm not going to quote everything, but it ends with, "by all means necessary." This has Pac stood by the window ready for violence and ready to meet it by any means necessary by the dialogue of his son and his partner. The opening verse starts off with lines like, "I see death around the corner, gotta stay high while I survive, in the city where the skinny ninjas die. If they bury me as a G ninja, no need to worry, I expect retaliation in a hurry." So death, self-medication, paranoia, survival in the inner city. The line "Bury Me as a G" is a title on the 1994 Thug Life album and a line in other tracks as well. The genius to use overlapping concepts over albums and tracks is fantastic because the overall message doesn't change and carries on his ideology across different bodies of the work. The use of samples: "When we were kids, belonging felt good, but having respect, that feels even better." In the hook is clever because if the listener has seen the 1992 film American Me, where it comes from, they can relate more to the lyrics, music, production, and the message of the track. Tupac's overall message in the album doesn't just pertain to himself, it also resonates with his audience and his collective consciousness of fans. His consciousness transcends all three albums up to Me Against the World. The first verse encompasses all of these themes and also incorporates the iconic Malcolm X poster and "by any means necessary" slogan. The rest of the track follows the same theme with clever lyricism and relatable rhymes and rhythm that is emotion charged and exact in its meaning. A definite 10 out of 10 for vocals. Vocals by Tupac. Samples: 1992 American Me and the hit film The Untouchables. The last track on the album is Outlaw. It's a brilliant way to reintroduce Dramacidal, who featured on the track Me Against the World, and it incorporates a sample of Snoop's "Murder Was the Case." The line "Dear God, I wonder can you save me" on the hook. The young man called Rara on the intro and the hooks. Mother famously sued the producer, Mosey MD, because she didn't want her son on the track. He was young at the time, and the subject matter wasn't for underage persons. The concept of an outlaw has Robin Hood ideology: steal from the rich to give to the poor. Everybody loves the anti-hero in this instance. He informs the masses about what's about to happen to the poor and unfortunate, to shed light on the problems in the poor and the inner city communities. In this album, the line between entertainment and information is blurred because the overall shift from previous albums is different. The consciousness is still prevalent, but the shift is more relevant to his experience to date. The violence, addiction, mental health, self-deletion, PTSD, success, infamy and isolation, and police corruption in the track encompass the whole ideology of the album over a dope beat. The features of the other members of Dramacidal has them spitting lines such as "Young and thugging, prepare for bussin', if that's my destiny, ready for whatever I see, you ninjas can't get the best of me, hold me down, definitely need no me for asking, now he's mashing, top speed, smoking weed, laughing, B, Idi Amin, Castro." Dramacidal would be later known as the Outlaws, especially from their evolution of thug life. To sum up in short, my conclusion of the album in whole: excellent, definitely a masterpiece, and in my opinion his best album by far. Beats, sample, production, features, artist, standout tracks, Lord knows, So Many Tears, and If I Die Tonight. None of his other works compared to this album, but don't get me wrong, All Eyes on Me was very good, but it was a bit too long. But the 7 Day Illuminati album comes close, but it's more of an evolution of All Eyes on Me, but simplified. So that was my review of the classic album, which I will rate as a perfect 10. So we'll call it a dime. If you like that review, subscribe, comment, and like. It's good karma.